What's up, dudes? Max here, and today concludes the first day of E3 2014, and the 4 huge fighting games that are at the show, including Killer Instinct with TJ Combo in Season 2, Super Smash Bros. 4, Mortal Kombat X, and Guilty Gear Xrd. And the one I'm going to focus on first is the one that I probably played the most, which is Killer Instinct and TJ Combo. My apologies if my voice sounds shot. It is indeed 1 a.m. in the morning on this Wednesday morning right now, as I get ready to go back to E3 in a few hours. But I wanted to talk about it. I was lucky enough that Microsoft and the dudes over at Microsoft PR were able to give me some direct capture B-roll gameplay of TJ so that I can have something really good to talk over instead of like cam footage off screen and stuff like that. So now you guys can actually see some of TJ in the fights, him fighting the other members of the cast and stuff like that. Do understand that his stage theme is not done yet from what I understand, and his Ultra is just like a placeholder. So a lot of the times if you ever try to see him go into his Ultra, it's just like he goes directly into an Ultra Ender. Because TJ is actually pretty early, and from what I understand and what I heard, is only about 6 weeks old. I'm going to get an interview with the developers fairly soon talking about Season 2 and what's going on with the characters and the overall process that was getting the game from Double Helix to the guys at Iron Galaxy. I'm going to talk with them pretty closely about that very soon, so stick around for that one, guys. But let's talk about TJ Combo and how he feels. The character you can probably compare TJ the most to is Saberwolf. TJ is a charge style character. He's not a charge character. You don't have to charge moves. You just do back forward motions and down up motions. And I'll talk about a few of his specials. His main special is back forward and heavy punch, which is called the Power Line. This is a armored thrusting forward punch move that has a lot of blue effects on it. And if you land, it does pretty good single damage, but it doesn't act as an opener, and it causes a wall bounce. If it does actually hit, it does about 50 kV, so it's kind of hard to combo after, even with the wall bounce. And it doesn't act as an opener. Just like it's kind of weird, like most specials in this game, unless they're uppercuts, act as openers and you can do an auto double after. That's not the case with this move. It's a knockback move, but it's really powerful because it has armor on it. The other moves that come from punches are back forward light punch and back forward medium punch. Back forward light punch is a spin fist, which is pretty much his best opener style move, like his quote unquote wind kick, you know, his flick flack. And then back forward medium punch is the shoot toss, which is a diving forward MMA style, like grab your ass and throw you to the opposite side, which causes a ground bounce that sets up some very specific TJ new gameplay mechanics called recapture. I'm going to hold off talking on recapture until we go over some of the special moves. I think down, up, and heavy kick, or down, up, and any of the kicks do this kind of like meteor smash thing. I can never remember the name of this move. It's not called Vortex. He jumps up and he punches the ground, and it's like a seismo. He literally causes like this wave to go out from him that acts as a projectile and will trip up enemies even from full screen. And this move also acts as an opener, and it's an overhead, but it's very easy to see. It's like a huge lunging forward jumping attack. You see it in the trailers repeatedly. It's not too bad, but it's pretty unsafe because it's a jumping overhead and it can go almost full screen. But the other down up special he has is down up with punch, which is like a quick uppercut that launches the opponent into the air, and you can hold down the button after to like spins his hand into like a whirlwind, and he can punch you up for an extra juggle. And this one is a very good move because this actually sets up for the thing I was talking about earlier, which is a launch state that allows you to recapture. And this might be so confusing for some of you guys. This is a new mechanic that they're adding into Season 2. I think they were talking about potentially all characters having this, but right now it's very specific a TJ thing because, like we were saying, he's only 6 weeks old, and I need to find out how long they've actually been working on the game. It seems like they've actually probably haven't been working on the game for so long, because right now this mechanic only works with TJ Combo, and it allows you to grab the opponent from a juggle state, that's right, them floating in the air, back down to the ground to cash out the damage. And for you guys that played Killer Instinct Season 1, you literally cannot cash out damage if you have opponents in juggle states. It does not work. They will always have that white health that you can't cash out until a little bit later, and TJ can cash out the damage, meaning he can do technically multiple launch enders within his combos. Like this down up punch move is a pretty good like launching ender, and if you catch them in the air with a recapture move, which is his down up kick, the heavy meteor smash jumping up down overhead, if you catch them in the air with that, they return to a standing state on the ground. So it looks a little jarring. It's kind of confusing at first because it's not like this in season 1 at all with anything, but it literally allows TJ to do a crazy amount of combos, and it'll actually make combos pretty interesting overall, especially for the majority of the cast. But the breaker system is going to have to change to allow this, because as we all know, when you have juggle combos in Killer Instinct Season 1, if it starts with an opener, most of the juggle isn't breakable. It's after openers and enders and auto doubles, your juggle is actually breakable. So that's going to have to change. I'm pretty sure that might already be implemented. I have to test it out a little bit more. But at the moment, it seems super good. And it allows TJ to cash out damage multiple times during his combos. But I'm thinking that they're going to kind of have to change the breaker system to break anything at this point, including all these aerial juggle things. But recapture's a lot of fun. Generally, you like grab somebody with like a neutral medium kick or a standing or crouching heavy punch, and you bounce them with that punch, and you go into down up kick with the meteor smash, grabs them in the air, and they're standing again, and you can continue your combo. However, recapture seems to add a lot of KV, like a good 30 KV, so combos can't be ridiculously long. Like, you can't do that forever, you know what I mean? But there's other ways to do it. Like, you can do a shadow move which doesn't add KV, and you can shadow recapture them by doing down up with two kicks, and that does the shadow meteor smash move, and that'll recapture them even without the KV use. So there's probably some balancing that they're gonna have to figure out there. But right now, TJ in general with that mechanic is a lot of fun. The only weird thing, the really weird thing with him, is that his auto doubles are not the same speed as everyone else in the game. Right now, it looks like his lights move the speed of mediums for everyone else. His mediums move the speeds of heavy, and his heavies are really slow, like extremely slow. I'm not too sure if they plan on changing the timing of that stuff, but right now it looks like very, very predicted, and you kind of like, he just looks super lumbering during his auto doubles. His special moves look fantastic, and the other specials that I was going to talk about is everything that gets canceled out of power line. When you press back, forward, and heavy punch, he starts like lunging forward with his power line move, and he travels across the screen. You press any of the attack buttons at this point, and he can cancel the power line into another move. Press the medium punch, and he cancels it into the shoot toss, the grab. Press light punch, and he cancels it into the spinning back fist. Press light kick, and he like jumps back a little bit, so you can have like a backwards juke. Press medium kick, and I think that was the roll, like a forward invincible roll, but you can be thrown out of it. I was thrown out of it quite a few times. And the heavy kick version is my favorite move is his, and it's the knee. He lunges forward with his knee, similar to Killer Instinct 1 and 2, and it acts as an opener. It throws them back hella far if you're able to get in a juggle, and it's just a very cool looking move. So you get to do all this stuff off of Powerline, and a lot of his kind of like opportunities and mix-ups comes from canceling Powerline into all this stuff. So it's very cool, but he's similar to Balrog, like neutral jumping kind of blows him up sometimes, and he can have a difficult time, you know, canceling into certain things. So you can cancel Powerline into shadow moves, which is very cool. So he's got a lot of opportunities in that regard, but his auto doubles right now just look kind of weird, and they move a little odd, and it's kind of telling that, you know, he's a 6-week-old character. There is some stuff that they are still polishing, but when it comes to his special moves, they look fantastic, and he's super hype. In terms of the character himself, I do agree, seeing it in person, the Patrick Ewing face is a little off, and this is another thing that's just telling that he's a younger character. They're still working on him. There's no facial animations yet, you know, so there's still a lot to be done with him, which I'm excited for, that we're seeing an early progression of the character, and it's kind of obvious that they wanted to show him off at E3 in some regard. But right now, the most fun thing is his special moves. Canceling Powerline into stuff is really exciting, and getting in and doing damage with the grabs and his command grab, which seems ridiculously good right now, is just a lot of fun. That's how he gets a lot of his damage. It's kind of weird that he doesn't have a progressive forward like wind kick type move. He just doesn't have that right now. Like you get a light wind kick, medium wind kick, heavy wind kick with Jago. TJ doesn't really have a normal progressive forward like varied strength move. So I would be kind of happy to see something like that added down the line, but we'll see. I'd like to see the auto double timing kind of balanced like the rest of the cast, where his lights move the same speed, the mediums and the heavies. And the last thing that's with his combos, how his combos work, is called the Auto Barrage, and it's literally his damage ender. So as example, TJ doesn't have a normal damage ender like the rest of the cast. He has a launcher ender, he has a battery ender that's a hard knockdown, and he has an ender that is a wall splat. And his damage ender, Auto Barrage, literally is you have to press every attack button as an auto double to get the damage ender. And that sounds weird, but here's how it works. You do an opener, and you get to the auto double, and the auto double hits twice, right? But if you press any other button after the first hit, it cancels your auto double button to be the next thing. So it goes from a heavy punch to a medium punch to a light kick to a medium kick to a heavy kick down to a light punch. And you cover all the buttons. They all hit once, and you're kind of pressing them in succession animation, canceling the first hit of all the auto doubles into this stuff. And if you successfully are able to hit all 6 buttons, kind of like fulfilling all of the buttons that are on the controller, then he does his damage ender, which is this one giant punch, and it puts him into the ground. And because this thing's kind of hard to get to, it's really damaging. Like, it cashes out damage super hard, almost as much as a character like Orchid, for example. It's really good. But the problem is that you can kind of see what TJ's doing during it. You're gonna mix up the buttons a lot, but if you wait to the end, it gets slower and slower and slower, no matter even if you're in light punches or something like that. So by the end, the punches are really telegraphed, and you can kind of just break them immediately. But the damage reward is really high for doing the auto barrage to get the damage ender, and I think the really effective way of using it is going to be during lockouts, because especially during a lockout, they can't press buttons against you, and you can just go through the whole auto barrage and get a hell of a lot of damage. So that's about it from TJ as far as his special moves, as far as his combos, like how he feels. He's kind of a heavier character, so imagine kind of like a heavier, more thrusting Saberwolf. Like, it's kind of funny how TJ just feels like, I'm gonna get in and you have to find a way to stop me. Like, that's kind of how he feels. Like, get ready, I'm gonna come in and beat your ass. So he kind of his gameplay definitely falls in line with how I imagine TJ Combo to be. It's just that there's a couple of things with the way he looks, and some stuff that's pretty early in animations that it's going to be awesome to see this stuff finally polished and TJ to look like a full and complete character. It's going to be very cool, because right now he's a lot of fun, and I think he does actually compete with the rest of the cast, even against like Glacius, who is going to throw out Lance, forward medium punch and try to grab you with that stuff. If he does back forward, if he does like power line and does back forward heavy punch, he's going to use the armor from that and blast through it and just punch the shit out of Glacius. It looks really cool. That stuff looks hype as hell. So there's some good moments, and he has the tools to get in on characters that will keep him away super hard. The other thing that's outside of his combos and his traits and how he looks and everything like that is his instinct, which is one of the more interesting ones in the game. His instinct, if you pop it at any general time during a match, is a speed boost. So you kind of get like crazy properties on speed boost. Your moves recover really fast. Everything essentially becomes a huge frame trap at that point, and it's kind of scary to press any button against TJ because he'll just wreck you. It's kind of just nuts how fast he moves in speed boost. And the other one is kind of the craziest thing he's got, and it's his instinct if he dies. If TJ gets KO'd in the final round with instinct, he will get back up, cause a huge like explosion that emanates out from him and pushes the enemy back, no matter if you're blocking, if you're in the air, whatever. Like, you can't seem to avoid it. I couldn't avoid it at all, and this thing will knock the opponent back and give TJ an opportunity to get back up with 20% health, as well as a little bit of instinct. Like, he doesn't get a full bar of instinct at this point. It's essentially like a boxer going down in the ring, or a UFC fighter going down in the ring, getting counted out for the final count, and then getting back up, and you have a chance. You're coming back, and this only works with instinct. The really funny thing is that I swear I have to go back and watch some of this footage over and over again, or I have to go back and play it again tomorrow, but I swear he says something along the lines of, I can't control it. Like, there's a super big Marvel reference in there, which I can thank the guys at Iron Galaxy for that one, for putting just like a reference to Marvel in Killer Instinct. It's pretty funny, so I want to make sure that's in there. I want to ask them about it too, but that's pretty exciting. Like, it doesn't seem super broken because he only gets about 20%. You touch him and he's going to go into ultra state at that point. And if you and he doesn't have that much instinct, so you can't really lame him out. You just have to be ready that if he's got instinct, he's preserving it for a resurrection, and then he'll come back with a little bit of health, and he's got a chance to make a comeback. But dude, I was making comebacks, and that stuff was pretty exciting. So TJ's got some stuff to deal with the rest of the cast. I think right now the only thing I'm gonna really look forward to is that auto double stuff, and a couple things getting fixed in animation and his look. And yeah, he's gonna be really good. The Iron Galaxy guys have done a great job. His stage looks fantastic. Like, holy shit. His stage is honestly one of my favorite stages in the whole game. The wrecking ball comes in and knocks over the sign on the stage in like the second and third round. If you do an ultra on anyone, the giant like trolley car, like the train that's on the top track, crashes through and like crumbles into the stage, kind kind of similar to Injustice in a way on Gotham City stage. So there's some very cool stuff, and the whole Ultra Tech stuff all over in the background. I love the crap out of his stage. It's very neat, and it's actually half of TJ Combo's hotel, and it's a boxing ring that's been wrecked, and half of the hotel has been blown away by this whatever thing is in the background, like demolishing it. So it kind of reminds me of Killer Instinct 1's stage. Like, TJ had this big boxing ring in a building, so I'm like, is that the same boxing ring from Killer Instinct 1? It could possibly be. It's pretty cool. So pretty good impressions of TJ. I'm excited to play more. I'm hopefully play a few more guys that are pretty good with the character. I'm going to try to get some games in with Adam Keats over at Iron Galaxy, who's the new designer of the Killer Instinct characters, and talk with him a little bit and play some games and get some hype matches. But for now, hopefully you guys enjoyed some of the live feed direct gameplay. Thanks a ton to the Microsoft guys for providing this and letting me do commentary over something that will look a lot better than off-screen TJ Combo capture. But yeah, guys, thank you a ton for watching. If you found any of this useful, I appreciate a thumbs up. I'm going to get ready to get back to E3 and play a whole bunch more with the character. But until then, my name is Maximilian. Stay tuned for more Killer Instinct coverage as soon as we know more, and I'll see you guys next time.